And welcome back, everybody. It's JD, and we're back doing 7 Days to Die Forsaken Trail tips and tricks. And we're going to talk about workstations and tools that go in them. So I got I got all the workstations set up here. I got a lot of workbenches set up, and we'll talk about why. And I also have 2 stoves set up, and we'll talk about why very shortly. So let's start with our campfires. Our campfire is a workstation. It has slots for 3 tools. Uh, so the tools, you'll know where they go and what they're good for based on what's underlined right here. This is cooking. This one is also for cooking. And this one's for processing. Why the hell do I have that in there? Because I want to show you that you can put tools in anything. Is this helping us? No, it's not. It's not doing a darn thing for us. What we need in there is the pan set. Why do we need the pan set? Because the pan set is the only tool that is required to craft anything. All the rest of the tools for all these stations are optional. But you cannot craft, you cannot do anything with a jar without having a pan set. You can see that right up here. It says pan set. If I take this out, it gives you the big X. You can't make an empty jar. You can't make a clean jar. You can't make a jar of clean water, boiled water, none of that stuff. So pan set is, well, one is the most important tool to initially find in the game because, well, you have a task to make a clean jar or an empty jar or a jar of water, something like that. You have to take a gross jar and make it in a clean jar or an empty jar. Is one of your tasks. And jars are way better than cans. So this is the most important one. The other, for what the tools do is, we're going to come over to this one, is they reduce time, crafting or cooking time. They increase output either by giving you more for the resources, and I'll show you that with the concrete mix, or they give you a higher quality item. So if the item is linked to a quality, having even low tier ones will boost the quality of that. And we'll see that when we get down to the other workstations. So, for example, bake corn on the cobs. I can do a level 78 with these tools in, and it takes me 52 seconds. If I pull a tool out, the quality goes down, the time goes up. And I can pull another one out, and it goes down even more, time goes up even more. So that's what these do for you, is they improve the quality and reduce the cooking time or increase the output. And some just reduce the time. I mean, it's the same amount no matter what, but the time will go down. So the oven is the same thing. So you're gonna need, I would keep 2 sets of each of these, and then once you get your kitchen, put the best set in there, because the kitchen does not require any fuel, so you won't have to keep feeding it logs and sticks and stuff, and to just do all your cooking on here. The reason I have a second kitchen set up is this one's set up for chemistry. And there are some items, these ones right here under the chemistry thing, that are produced in the kitchen or the stove. and less in the campfire. Just glue and fertilizer in the campfire. But they benefit from the laboratory equipment, the pharmacy tools, and the distilling set. And you notice they all say chemistry on them. Chemistry. So I would keep 2 sets because not everything, not all the chemical stuffs are done in the kitchen or stove. They're also done on a workbench. I got one set up right over there with the same tools in it. Tools can go anywhere. Again, if you have the resource to make multiple benches, as you get tools, I would do so. You don't have to make them all, but there are certain ones I would make. Again, I'm not so sure I would have 2 kitchens because the resource is quite steep on them. But I would have a box with the chemistry stuff set in there, or if I set up a bench, I would have it nearby so I could just pull those out, put them in here. And when we get over there, you'll see what's crafted on those benches. So let's move over to forging. You have your smelter and you have your blast furnace. Smelter you get quickly. The blast furnace, that took me a long time to do the blast furnace. So the smelter is going to be your iron-based weapons, and anything else that's iron. It's also going to be your bullets. You're not going to be able to do any like higher tier steel stuff in here. That is going to be over here, like your steel glaive, your steel mace, your steel maul. They're going to be over in your blast furnace. But they're same tools. The same tools. You can your high temperature tools, your anvil, and your forge tools. And let's see if I get an example of this. I do here somewhere. Do I have lead? I don't think I have any lead. An example somewhere. Oh well. Steel glaive. I can make a tier 45 one with these in, but if I start pulling them out, the tier drops and the time goes up. So like mint 42, level 26, and it'll go up again, level 37, time going down, and we can drop it back to where it was, to a level 45, minute 15 seconds. That's the advantages of the tools. Less time, better quality, or better output. And again, it tells you forging right on it. So we'll go here to, this is the work table. It's the first one, the first workstation you get, and it will do your lower tier stuff, your makeshift, and your primitive stuff. And it'll do the basic things, but it has its limitations, like the wooden trowel, and your wooden hammer, stuff like that. You're not going to make the higher tier stuff on this workstation. So I have this one set up for doing writing stuff, drafting, and that is going to be your blueprints and your research. And I'll show you an example of the more output. If I take these out, let me take them all out. I can make 11. Normally I can make 10, but I have a couple points in research, so it lets me make an 11. But if I put one of these in, all of a sudden I can make 17. Put another one in, all of a sudden I can make 21. Put the last one in, and I can make 25 for the same resources. and less time, much less time. And so I would have this one set up permanently just do writing, because you're always doing research, you're always needing blueprints. I would just leave that set up. Your workbench can do everything that guy can do. So you can actually do writing on the, writing stuff on this one. But I think you only need one to do all that stuff. If you're doing a lot of research, you could use two. Make your blueprints on this one, then do the research on both. Anyway, this one I got marked processing. All right, so processing. If you look at our tools, our processing is going to be stoneworking, woodworking, and processing. And what that's going to be is your bulk stuff like your sawed wood. Right now with all these in, if I make a sawed wood, I get 2 for 1. But if I pull a couple of these out, I'm down to 1 to 1 in 35 seconds. Whoops, 35 seconds. So you want to get a set of these as soon as you can. Oh, I'm trying to put 2 in there. I don't need that one. There you go. So you can make more, and you can get this depending on the tier level of these things. The higher the tier, the more they benefit you. I've had it. I think my workbench in one of the games I'm playing is actually give me 3 for every log, and it doesn't take that long. So it's definitely beneficial. The other thing is your concrete mix. So we're going to do 32, 100, 64, and 64 in 1. Without these, and you guys probably don't have the right ones in right now, you're going to make 25 for all that stuff. All this you're getting 20, allows you 25 concrete. But if I go back and I put my processing tools in, where's my stonework tools? When I go over here, I'm now making 67 of them in a lot less time. That's how drastically these tools can change your life. That's over double. So this becomes more economical. If I can do this and get 60 some odd for it, that's great. 25 is not a good deal. The mortar is exactly the same thing. It'll make 67 instead of the 25. So keep that in mind. Anything you're making bulk of is probably going to be on this workbench. Let's take a step over to fabrication. Now fabrication is going to be your individual stuff. For example, let's do, I think it's casing. Casing. So casing, if I, uh-oh, I don't have enough brass. What did I do? Did I leave my casing down here? Did I leave my brass down here? Huh. Did I use it somewhere? Maybe. Oh yeah, I did. So, so I'd make 25 on that. Let me go into, yeah, let me grab, well, I don't want that many. Hold on, just, what is it? We need 12. Yeah. All right. If I come over to fabrication and I want to make 12 casing, it's going to make 64 with these tools in. Over here on the processing one, I got 25. That's all I got. 25. So I'm fabricating casings. I want to use the fabricating tools. And again, removing these, I'm going to remove them to all of them, but removing these, the time will go up, your output will go down. So making your casings on the fabrication bench versus the processing bench will save you a lot of resources. And you say, well, why not the gunsmithing? I don't know. But it only makes 25 of them. So, but your bullets are going to be made on your gunsmithing. Now, if I want to go back and make bullets, if I'm making 500, it's see if I can make 50 of them. 521. Now it's only going to make 50, but if I come over here to the fabrication one, well, let's go make bullets. It's 1625. It doesn't shave a lot off because I don't think I got very high level. Yeah, I got very low tier stuff. But you know, when you need bullets, you know, 2 minutes, or a minute and a half, whatever it was. Definitely keep that in mind. So your casings are made here, your bullets are made down over here, but they're put together here. Your cordite, I think, is made on your processing because it's bulk, and I think your gunpowder is too. But your nitrocellulose, whatever it is made over here on the. You know, so yeah, you got that. Is that clear as mud? Yeah, I know. I'm confused too. So many different ways to make bullets on different workstations. But when you put them together, it's going to be on the gunsmithing one. Okay, so fabrication also is your arrows, your bolts, all that stuff is done on your over here on your fabrication one. It'll take less time. I don't know if the output will be more. I don't remember, but the time is definitely less. Electronics. So, as an example, I want to make a grinder. I can make a tier 45 grinder on the electronics bench. But if I come over here to fabrication, it's an item. I should be able to fabricate it here. Well, I can, but it's only going to be a level 31. Because the recipe has electronic parts and wire in it and a battery, it's going to be made on your electronic bench. And those tools that go in here are your voltmeter, your soldering set, and your wiring tools. And it's not just the bench, it's the tools. So if I pull this out, bam, quality drop, time goes up. And we kind of already talked about the gunsmithing. Okay, so your bullet, you got ballistic tools, you got reloading tools, and you got your armor tools. Why have I got armor tools in there? That's outfitting. Gunsmithing basics. There we go. Wow. It's late. But if you're gonna do like a, let's pick a gun. Well, yeah, bolt, action, grip, or gun parts even. Doesn't even have to be an actual gun. But I'm doing level 30, but if I start pulling these out, it's going to go down. So you want to make sure you do you got your gunsmithing on the right, with the right tools on the right bench. Now it shows, I think it shows just the work table up here, but let's see if we can find it. I don't think all the parts. I guess you could use a work table for this. There's a reason I put it on the bench. I forget what it was. There's something that has to be made on the bench. So I said, well, you just use the bench for it. But this is all your guns, your bullets, putting them together. It's going to be on your gunsmithing bench. Let's run over here to our outfitting. This is going to be your released used one probably. And this is simply your clothes and your armor. It can be made right here. and it's your armor tools, your sewing machine, and your tailoring tools, and they tell you right up your outfitting recipes. So you make one set of armor, maybe two set of armor during the whole game. You can probably do leather. I did leather, and the last one I did was probably the hazmat, uh, just because the recipe for the military boots, the high grade fiber, uh, 36 high grade fiber, it just wasn't happening. It takes so much to make one high grade fiber. It's not even funny. Um, and I'm just not into heavy armor, so I didn't make any of the other stuff. But it's made right here, and you'll get a bonus for making it here. You can see right there that it's definitely made here. Now we'll go over to chemistry. Again, I got the same 3 tools over here. These items are made on the bench. That's your acid, your microcellulose, your nitroglycerin, your petroleum jelly, your tanning mix, and your solvent. You'll make a lot of solvent because that's how you make high grade fiber. And your microcellulose for your bullets and stuff. But it's made on this workbench here with these mods. Again, it says chemistry recipes. And it's an output thing. I didn't put the stuff here, but it'll give you more for your resources. How's that? So have I confused you? Or have I cleared stuff up? If I confused you, I'm sorry. It hurts my head every time I think about all this stuff. I wish things were more intuitive. I mean, a list of stuff. I mean, I'm just guessing at some of the processing stuff just by trial and error. And I actually just found out that fabrication was the cartridges versus the processing. I just made that revelation earlier today. But if I were to set up benches, like I said, I would have one of these dedicated just to doing blueprints. I'd have a processing, a fabrication, and probably a gunsmithing one. And I probably wouldn't have either one of those. So, but I would have the tools. I put all the tools in a box so I could switch them out when I needed to. That's if you have them. So when you're at the trader, if you see a tool you don't have, buy it. Or in the bench, or in the vending machine. Find them there a lot of times. And keep 2 sets of your cooking ones because you're definitely going to want 2 places to cook, and 2 sets of your forge ones. Put the better ones into the blast furnace because that's going to be your main furnace. Your other furnace is just going to be if you're doing multiple things simultaneously. Anyway, I hope I taught you something and didn't confuse you. And with that, I'll end this. I'll see you in the next tips and tricks. Have a good one.